digging! Stop! Stop!
You're probably wondering, what in the world just happened? And why did we have to stop digging immediately?
Have you ever heard of an underground river? It's not something we come across every day either.
Well, before we get into that situation and how it was resolved, let's show you around the new project a little bit. This project is a full house renovation, which means we'll be completely gutting this house. Consisting of new Andersen 400 series windows with black exterior and wood interior, hardy board and batten siding, white PVC trim, and engineered white oak floors, and so much more. All of the mechanicals in this home will be brand spanking new. Just like in some of our other projects, these homeowners are aligned with our goals of reducing their carbon footprint. That said, this home will be fully equipped with a geothermal heating system, solar panels to supplement the electricity, and will be insulated using high-density spray foam. When all is said and done, this house will consist of 4 bedrooms, a primary suite, and 4 bathrooms. Oh, sweet! The demo crew is here! With the demo now complete, we are at a standstill until we figure out how to deal with this water under the house and build the proper foundation for the new addition. Let's check out the second floor before we get to the problem at hand. When we started digging, we discovered some buried treasure. Okay, not really, but we did discover that the existing house was built on timber piles, and the original builder decided to bury the cutoffs right where our addition is going. Things must have been a little bit different back in the 60s and 70s. So after digging out the timber pile cutoffs and disposing of them properly, it's time to move on to step 1. Step 1, test the soil. First, we must figure out how deep this underground water actually goes. With that information, we could figure out the options we have to build this foundation. In order to get that information, we must perform what's called a borehole test. You could see the crew driving the rod into the ground to collect samples that are as far as 20 feet below the surface. With the collected samples, a geotechnical engineer can determine the quality of the soil. In this case, we're dealing with clay, which does not drain well, and must dig at least 14 feet below the surface before we touch any soil that will allow drainage. So with this information, we determined we will need to install steel helical piles and a massive grade beam to support our foundation. While Dan plans out the steps to install these helical piles, he's also thinking about this week's pro tip, and that is never wear Vans on a muddy job site. Looks like Dan will need some new shoes after today's mud flood. Which brings us to step 2. Step 2, installing the helical piles. Helical piles are hollow steel tubes that are used to stabilize structures by anchoring the load to the surrounding ground. Using their excavator with a special attachment, the helical pile installers screw steel rods in 7-foot sections as deep as necessary to achieve 48 kips, which means that each steel pile can withstand 48,000 pounds of downward force. To achieve this, Each steel rod had to go between 24 and 28 feet deep. With 27 helical piles installed and that challenge behind us, and all engineering inspections complete, we're able to continue with the foundation. The next step is installing the grade beam. A grade beam acts as a footing and is used to connect the helical piles together. Once completed, this will eventually support the new extension of the home. The crew bends the rebar into squares that will form a steel cage, which will sit inside the concrete of the grade beam as reinforcement. Here's a finished pile of squares ready to be installed. With the concrete grade beam poured, we can move forward with further inspections, get the walls up, and start framing. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you could see this house turn into a home and join us on our journey building forever homes. Blooper time! What just happened, and why did we have to stop digging immediately?
Ever heard of an underground river?
Wow, 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 wow.